Welcome everybody to a progress video. I don't usually do these but I thought I might as well do them since I'm going back into map making. So a short description of what this level will be is going to be a zombie survival one that's based around medieval times. And this progression video will be focusing on two main areas, the city of Circulum and the southern wall, two main areas in the game, but we'll also be focusing on the unnamed locations in between, the campsite and the hayfields. I think for the sake of you guys keeping attention, and because I really wanted to do it, we'll be focusing on the city of Circulum first, where as we can see right now, it's just a barren, complete scape of just green. Luckily, we're able to change this over the period of time, and hey, you're able to go back and forth and see the evolution if you really want to. We'll also be adding other small areas around it that add to the detail of the city as well, of which you will see in the next part. So when choosing the polygon that we wanted to use, I eventually got a terrain rock piece and decided to flip it down so I'd use that. So I put it all together and decided to stretch it out into a land pathway to see it'll work. After satisfied with the outcome I was given, I decided to stretch it out to be the outline of the city, of which you're able to see here. For the sake of memory uses, I did put in some houses that you can explore, but it still looks good when all put together, and most of them I'll convert to houses you can explore later on. But for now, it's a good temporary resolution that I can do to the memory usage. Hey, look at that kind of rhymed. So later on, I actually started building the houses that you can properly explore, and after designing them, I scattered them around the whole city, which you can see in the next clip after this one. Who would have thought buildings are so finicky to place? Well, you can see with all the additional buildings added, you can see on the map has updated so we can actually see clearly now. As well as the actual look of it ourselves is actually going a lot better. So, we designed ourselves a few more buildings that we can place around town in the corners and areas we haven't chose, and after putting them in said locations, we're able to get worked on the next project. Said next project being building different props that we can scatter around the city, such as different stores, some that sell weapons, and also stores that sell wood and stuff like that. We also put around a few chimneys and other decor to add to the houses as well. We also put lampposts across every single road to light them up as well. Now taking a wider shot of the city, you can see with all the decorations we put in, that it's coming along a lot nicely now. You can also see I put stone towers in to also add to the medieval feel of it as well as watchtower. But there's one more thing I wanted to add because the city looks great, but there's this one open area up the back that I wanted to put something in, so I built up some towers as well as building up some walls, and then later on I added details to said walls and put it up as the back as a nice background to the city, which in my opinion looks a lot better than just an open green space. Talking about spaces, we also decorated each and every single home, so you can explore in every single one. It's also a great way to get loot as well. Anyways, here's a time lapse of some of the houses I built as well, since that's cool. As we can see, the city so far is looking really good, but I think there's this lack of variety since every building is mostly the same. So what I decided to do is change a few of the buildings to barracks, armories, and blacksmiths to add more variety between the different buildings you can explore. And from afar, it looks pretty good. And to add to the water element around here, I built some docks and made sure to go around the city, spraying them out wherever I can, in whatever position I wished it to be, and put some props and boats around them to add more detail to them as well. Enough about the built section of this build, we need to focus on the natural section, so I went around placing trees and grass wherever I could to add a more natural grown feel to the type of city that I'm building. Now we can see when we take a look at the video, it looks a lot better now with all the trees and green inside of it. It adds a nice blend of colors to it, and the best part about this is that if you go down to each building, you can actually explore inside them, see the different props, or when the game is actually complete, get different items and loot things to help you on your journey as well. But moving on to our next build is obviously the windmill/wheat fields, Also, I put some very minimal design into the things, and started building up the wheat fields by copying and pasting it a lot of amount of times. You can also see I put down a soil bed around here to lay out the area that I want to put the wheat field. You can also see in the footage I cut out an area which connects the farm to the city, which I think is a nice touch. Alright, can confirm this is a wheat field. However, despite how I liked how this build was going, I feel like there wasn't too much detail in it. So what I decided to do was go down and start building a wooden fence around the whole perimeter of the cornfield. And occasionally I broke up the fence to add little open spaces to add more feel to it. And I kind of liked how it's going now, but I feel like I could still add a bit more things to it. So I cut out another section, adding another pathway onto the cornfields. As you can see in the next clip, I extended it out just to give a little bit more feel to it. I then grabbed a few of the prop sets that I utilized in the city and started scattering them around the field to also give it a nice feel. And afterwards, I was pretty satisfied with how it came out. It was meant to be a simple build, but I enjoyed how it came out nonetheless. Now the southern wall, I'm not going to go into too much detail of how it was built, due to the fact of it literally just being a thick wall. But you can see the details I've added of the towers and pillars and scaffolding on the side. And the good thing about this wall though, is that it's fully explorable. From different storage rooms with the weapons you can choose, from towers that you can use to climb up to the very rooftops if you wish, to even border offices, you know, if that's your thing. But let's say you're too lazy to go inside and explore. You have scaffolding on the sides they can use to get to the rooftop anyways. I also added a secondary wall, which you can't go inside of. Now into our second unmarked location, the mountaintop camp. We designed a tower, after a rigorous amount, and placed it on both sides of the camp to get a nice overview of different sides of the map, you know, so you get an eye view where you want to go, as well as placing dirt for the platforms that we wanted as well. After putting down a llama spit roast, we went across the camp putting down different decorations as well as different lightings. We also put some different platforms on the side to easily climb up and down from the camp due to it being on a cliff face. And after putting in the final details, that's that camp done. And that also includes this first part of the video. Make sure to come back next time if you want to keep on seeing progress of this map, and comment any ideas you want me to implement next. Or